7 is after 8 o'clock. Welcome to today's edition. It's the Hump Day edition of Island Tea. This is Jamsta in all by my lonesome for now. Kortensia Carty is off today. No, we're not going to see Jay Black until sometime next week, from what I was told. So apologies on behalf of my co-hosts. We'll have K back tomorrow for sure. That's a given. And just reminding you that you can catch us on TVC Channel 40 on the cable's TV system. All right. October 9, as we wind our way up to Christmas and Carnival. I'm thinking a lot of people's favorite time of the year. And speaking of which, the music in the background, written by Bernardo Nardo HD Phipps. That's the instrumental for his track. I think track came out in 2022 or 2022. Happiness. Well, he's got his EP out for Carnival for Sugar Mass 2024, and he's blessing us with new music. So this is a good time to once again play you some music from Nardo HD, one of the first tracks for Carnival 2025, or should I say Carnival 2024-25.
Yeah. Meet me on the road. Digga ding ding. I've been in the streets before. Every time I get that grade, I just want more and more, like a kid in a candy store. The vibes for me is everything. So much fun, so exciting. As I touch down, I hear the so exciting. As I touch down, I hear the rhythm. The sounds of the bands and people jamming. I hear it, I hear them. Sound is out loud everywhere I go. St. Kitts, this is my home. I wear it so proud. I want the world to know. St. Kitts, this is my home. The
So that's Nardo HD with Revelers in the Street. Brand new music for Sugar Mass 2024. And it's now 30 minutes after 8 o'clock. Don't forget, coming up at 8:30, we've got the once monthly program. It's called Nutrition Nation with Latoya Duncan from the Nutrition Unit at the Ministry of Health. So stay tuned for that. And of course, we have Farm Report coming up at 9 o'clock. So we got you on lockdown. Now, I got some, I'm going to play a clip from Westpac Global Media, the Prime Minister speaking on the CBI program. So I'm going to break some of that off for you guys. And as always, you know, whenever you want to play something, everything takes forever to load up, right? Like if you weren't going on air, everything would be ready to play. But the minute you wanna, you wanna share stuff, do the mass communications thing, it becomes an issue. But I'm just getting this prepared. It's Westpac Global Media, one of our news providers, and WINN FM affiliates, headed up by Hamlet Mark out of Grenada, responsible for the Carib update news that everyone's become accustomed to. So I'm going to play some of that, and we're going to be looking at some other local stories, even regional stories as well that might catch your interest.
Meet me on the road. Dig a ding ding. I've been in the streets before. Every time I get that grade, I just want more and more, like a kid in a candy store. The vibes for me is everything. So much fun, so exciting. As I touch down, I hear the rhythm. The sounds of the bands and people jamming. I hear it. I hear them. Sound it out loud. Everywhere I go. Say it's me, this is my home. I wear it so proud. I want the world to know. Say it's me, this is my home. The music is sweet down here. The vibes is just nice down here. Them girl love to wine down here. Music is the life down here. Revelers in the streets, revelers in the streets, revelers in the streets, revelers in the streets. Last stop is the big encore. So many costumes on display. We sweat and party night and day, like a kid in a candy store. This fight for me is everything. So much fun, so exciting. As I touch down, I hear the rhythm. The sounds of the bands and people jamming. I hear it. I hear it.
So I want to big up Hamlet Mark for hooking me up with these clips. Hamlet, what's up? So I'm going to play you, I've got two clips. The first one I'm going to play is concerning Prime Minister Drew speaking on the CBI program, the sort of revamping of the CBI program, and then we're also gonna hear something. A nervous Caribbean community in the Florida area. But first, here we go.
The music is sweet down here. The vibes are just nice down here. Them girl love to wine down here. Music is we life down here. Revelers in the streets, jamming. 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 Oh, street, here we come. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Used by those who want to use it for other reasons. And that is why we have determined that, and we have been recognized for that.
Dr. Drew said when he took office just over 2 years ago, the CBI program was badly managed and in disrepute.
The previous government brought St. Kitts and Nevis to depend on this for 70% of its revenue.
He said since then, its governance has been strengthened, and as of October 1, the unit is now being operated as a statutory body. Speaking in St. Kitts Tuesday, Drew said there is stricter due diligence governing the program, and his administration has been among those promoting better regional regularization of the migration investment industry.
I was determined that the CBI must also come under good governance. And I will not only say that in St. Kitts and Nevis, but throughout the region. And I'm happy that St. Kitts and Nevis was recognized for its transition, even though we know it's challenging as an industry. We were also able to advocate for regional regulation. Never happened before. I want to highlight that now the central bank is taking a leading role in setting up a regulatory body to regulate the CBI space.
Drew said that his administration will program.
St. Kitts and Nevis is also proposing what you call a department where we will have a security expert to look and monitor our citizenship by investment program internationally. And we are getting ready to appoint that person to that position. And we are thinking about positioning them in Europe.
The petition leader spoke of the recent high ratings for the administration of the country's CBI program and said though the migration industry has its challenges, his small island territory has been able to stave off the headwinds. I am Wendy Chateau with the Carib Update News Service, reporting for Primetime Caribbean.
Okay, so that's the Prime Minister from his PM's roundtable held yesterday. And there's another clip I want to play, also from Westpac Global Media. And this one is in reference to concerned Caribbean citizens, I guess persons living in the Florida area, worried about
Graded back to a Category 5 storm late Tuesday as it churned towards Florida's west coast. The ferocious storm could land a once-in-a-century direct hit on Tampa and St. Petersburg, engulfing the populous region with towering storm surges and turning debris from Helene's devastation 12 days ago into projectiles. In the regions of Tampa and Orlando, many members of the Caribbean communities there have been on the move.
Most people, I would say partly some, are leaving the Orlando area and also the Tampa area, and they're moving closer to Jacksonville, or some people are going out to Miami because they're saying that Miami side would not get such a huge impact, it's just some rain. And that's what's been happening. You look at the highway, and you can see the vehicles all packed, and everybody's heading to that area, Miami and higher Jacksonville area.
On Tuesday afternoon, traffic was backed up and moving at a snail's pace along the southbound section of Interstate 75, known as Alligator Alley. It connects the west coast of Florida to the east coast between Naples and Fort Lauderdale. Trisha Campbell, a Caribbean broadcaster in the Orlando area, said for those who stayed, it was a busy day preparing for the monster storm.
Well, we're getting as done. I think we are prepared, and we are still preparing, and we are ready. We have been tracking Milton since, I would say, Sunday. And when we saw the path, Dre and I started doing what we do best, getting prepared and executing our plan, trimming our overhead branches while I washed the dirty clothes that were in the hamper. You know, we have to get ready just in case the water go out. We brought in all the patio furniture and flower pots, garbage bins, in fact, anything that could be a missile. The pots, the tubs and sinks already filled with water. We are preparing for the hurricane tomorrow. We have our battery-operated radio, flashlights, rain gears, the oil lamp. Well, we in the Caribbean, and we say the kerosene lamp, and of course, all the other essentials.
In some instances, some people in the Caribbean community, not too confident about their housing situation, are joining others to ride out the storm.
That we are now joined by 2 Grenadians who live alone. They are from the Kissimmee area, and we will, of course, ride out the hurricane together. In fact, one of them also brought some breadfruit so that we can make some oil down in the morning just before the hurricane comes our way later tomorrow afternoon.
Campbell told us that earlier Tuesday, gas stations in the Orlando area had run out of fuel.
After 2 trips to the neighborhood gas station, we were lucky enough to fill up the vehicles. As of now, there is no fuel in our area. The news agencies did report a few minutes ago, I popped up on the phone, that about 1,300 gas stations have run out of fuel.
It's been I would say, a tremendous task to get gas because right now, if you drive from different areas, like during the course of the day, it was like difficult because when you drive by, people don't have no gas.
Advocates have been reaching out to immigrants in Tampa and Orlando to help with evacuation plans and preparation. Among them are the Farm Worker Association of Florida, the Florida Immigrant Coalition, and Hope Community Center.
Just the unknown is something that I don't do good with.
Campbell concedes these are very nervous times indeed.
I am very nervous and worried, and I'm praying that the impact will be minimal, and we're just hoping for the best for all Floridians who are in the path of this monster, and God is in control. What can we say?
Okay, so that report from West Park Global Media. Thanks, Hamlet. And I think I'm going to try and bring you the very latest from CNN, something from 1 hour ago. I'm going to try and get this squeezed in before 8:30. Lots of us have family living up in Florida. Like my mom lives in Tampa Bay, actually. So, it's not exactly... This is not exactly this remote and removed situation as it might be if it was maybe some other part of the world, right? Okay, so 8:27, and let's see if I can get that CNN latest update for you guys. Don't forget, we have Nutrition Nation. This happens the second Wednesday every month. And that's going to be at 8:30, so just stand by. I'm going to bring that to you.
We have this brand new update from the Hurricane Center. What are they telling us? Still a Category 5 hurricane. National Hurricane Center giving this update here within the past minute or so, talking about a very compact, symmetrical, powerful intercore wall, and that is very visible on our satellite. We are less than 24 hours away from a devastating economic and societal storm that I wish we could say that we have never seen in the likes of decades, but unfortunately happened 2 weeks ago with Hurricane Helene, adding misery to the pain that we've already experienced across Florida. The storm has 160 mile per hour winds. Because it has maintained its strength overnight, they have increased the winds at landfall, which are still believed to occur late tonight into early Thursday morning. But you can see explicitly a Category 4 as it makes its final approach into the west central coastline of Florida. What we've been watching so closely with the magnitude and strength of a storm like this is the wobbles, comparing them to where that center of the storm is with the forecast track. It is so imperative, and I want to show you this map. There's the eye. There's the forecast track, the center, of course, being the cone of uncertainty. But notice how the eye is jogging a little bit to the east. That has downstream implications on who receives that front right quadrant, the most powerful part of the storm, with the most intense storm surge and the most intense winds, even though there will be intense winds on the northern side of the storm as well. This is one computer model, the European model. This still indicates a St. Pete, Tampa Bay landfall, again, early Thursday morning. This is just one computer model, so we're still looking for that windshield wiper effect. We will bobble up and down, as is common with these types of storms. But one thing's for sure, catastrophic winds will not be contained to just the coastline. We will experience hurricane force winds from the coast, the Gulf Coast, all the way to the Atlantic coast. We have seen the radar popping an eye already from Key West, and there's been tornado warnings in Miami-Dade in advance of this storm that is continuing as we speak. Storm surge, the forecast here has not gotten any better, Casey. This will inundate homes and it will inundate businesses.
Well, it's 8:30 and it's time for Nutrition Nation. That was latest Hurricane Milton report from CNN. That was filed at 8:26 this morning. Okay, so we have Nutrition Nation coming up, sponsored by Republic Bank.
From the South, 99.9 WINN FM.
We'll be here in the worst of times. We'll be here till things get better. We'll be here to see you through. We're here invested in you. We're invested in you. You can depend on us. We will take care of you with a legacy of commitment you can trust. We hear what you've been saying. We know what you've been thinking. We understand what's in your heart. Trust us to do our part. Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
(8:31), and I have the distinct pleasure of hosting two beautiful ladies from the Nutrition Unit. It's time for the once monthly Nutrition Nation. I've got LaToya Duncan, and I'm sure the other lady is going to introduce herself. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Michelle Baker. I am the Advocacy and Research Officer of Lake Health and Wellbeing, and I am also the National Policy Coordinator for the Trans Fat Campaign of Healthy Caribbean Coalition. So this is a campaign spanning across several CARICOM countries, and St. Kitts and Nevis is one of those target countries, and I'm happy to be here. Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Michelle. A pleasant good morning to our listening audience. LaToya Matthew Duncan here, Nutrition Surveillance Coordinator from the Ministry of Health Promotion Unit. And like Michelle alluded to, the topic for this morning will be trans fat. Let's talk about trans fat and why they need to go.
Go ahead.
All right, so the trans fat campaign that Latoya just mentioned, it's Let's Talk About Trans Fats and Where They Need to Go. It's an initiative being led by the Healthy Caribbean Coalition, and so it's a coalition of several different islands across the Caribbean that aim to address the non-communicable disease epidemic, so diseases like heart disease, stroke, diabetes, etc. And the reason why this campaign is so important is because trans fats are present in many of the foods that we consume and purchase here in St. Kitts and Nevis and in other CARICOM countries, and we lack the policies to regulate this, this health harm. And it's also important because other countries abroad do have trans fat policies that regulate that they cannot be sold within their countries. However, there is no rule that we're aware of that they cannot be exported to islands like St. Kitts and Nevis that relies heavily on importation. So that's why it's especially important for us here in St. Kitts to advocate for trans fat policies, because if it's not good enough for other nations, then it shouldn't be good enough for us.
All right, thank you, Michelle. No, that was quite a mouthful, speaking about policies, etc. But as we know, there is a real lack of policies in the Caribbean. So when we even look at trans fat and other nutrition-related activities, policies so much is more in, what shall I say, it's up in the air. But I think what is important to know is for the general public to know the facts about trans fat, so persons could understand that other than the government and the different ministries or even the health NGOs, persons have a responsibility for knowing what to eat, what not to eat, for example. So our roles without policies will be to actually provide persons with enough information so that they are able to make an informed decision when you look at selecting food. So one of the things that persons have to know, they have to know the facts about eliminating trans fat. And like Michelle said, it's not only in St. Kitts and Nevis, but it's actually a push in the wider Caribbean. We do have countries who are in the process of creating their policies, and we do have some that already have policies. But what is trans fat really, or what are they? Because it's actually several products that persons really need to be educated about. So it's a harmful compound found in a lot of food products in the Caribbean. They can be made industrially, they can be created naturally in some animals, but only a very small amount in some animals, for example, animals like cows, sheep, and goats. So it's important that persons know exactly where trans fat comes from. However, majority of the population consume trans fat from the product that they purchase that are manufactured, that persons buy, that are available on the shelf, that were imported into the particular countries. Because it's manufactured, and remember, it's not made here. So it got here somehow.
I have a question though. Ms. Baker talked about the fact that, obviously, the bigger countries have regulations governing trans fats and other nutritional requirements. But do we really have, let's say, the global weight to even, get these companies to fall in line? And or is it we got to take, or would it be a situation of us taking unilateral decisions to say, okay, we're not going to import this, we're not going to import that, as opposed to getting, say, General Mills or whoever it is to, can you please stop?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So which is it?
So it's more about having the policies in place. We're not going to necessarily govern the manufacturers, because that's really impossible to do. They're independent. But it's about the policies in place that allow or do not allow certain products in. And so while as we said, St. Kitts heavily relies on importation. And so without those policies, these foods can always be imported in from different nations. So it's just a push for CARICOM. And actually, a few years ago, CARICOM leaders across the Caribbean actually pledged that they would work towards implementing trans fat policies and protect the Caribbean. So it's already a conversation that's happening. It's just a matter of implementation now.
And the thing about implementation, like Michelle said, it's not at the country level, because many Caribbean countries, they rely on trade. So some of these policies or regulations are actually set by the WTO, the World Trade Organization. So getting some of these policies enforced in even larger countries, smaller countries like St. Kitts and Nevis, it requires quite a bit of a heavy handle and multiple handles, because we import so much of our food items. So for us in St. Kitts and Nevis, actually looking at the trans fat issue that we are having that are affecting so many persons, especially as you look at heart health, the Caribbean, all of us need to really come together in order to try to focus on how is it that we want to stop trans fat. Because the thing is, in some countries, and I'm not going to call any country's name, where trans fat is being manufactured, regulations are already in place where they do not allow trans fat to be in foods that can be consumed in those particular countries, even though they are manufactured there. However, they can export them to other countries. So that's why it's important, to know some of these items and to be careful of what you see on the shelves. And for example, I'm sure so many persons have seen it on different foods item for one thing or another. Sometimes it might not be related to trans fat. However, there are other manufacturing errors to which persons different countries can decide this food cannot be consumed in this particular country. For example, it might be the shape of the item or the color, for example. It's not saying that it cannot be consumed. However, it do not meet their specification, let me use it in a term you'll understand, their high grade that they want their imported food to look at. So it would have to be registered as export only.
You kind of touched on a question I was going to ask. There are a lot of food manufacturers in the Caribbean that we import stuff from. We get Sunshine Snacks and Holiday Snacks. I think Holiday comes from Barbados. Sunshine Snacks come from Trinidad. We get Devon and all this other stuff from Jamaica. We import stuff from Dominican Republic as well, Central America, South America. In terms of the Caribbean, do you know, you kind of touched on it just now, but so are you saying that maybe some of these food manufacturers, Bermudas and all these people, Bermudas is a Trinidad company, are they aware of some of these concerns that regional governments have? Do we know if they're on board with the whole trans fat crusade?
Well, like we said, we are not going to call any names. But for larger countries, for example, like Trinidad, they have already started meeting with some of their manufacturers. I'm not sure if that.
Well, you said, what I thought you said was interesting. You said not for local consumption, but they can export it, and that's a kind of a dodgy policy, right? So, how does the regional policy deal with that? Because it's one thing to say, well, we're not gonna add trans fats to our snacks or whatever for Trinidad consumption, but we can export it. That's kind of a problem.
Specific. A lot of these products that actually are manufactured outside of the region. A lot of them that actually, let me not even say manufactured outside of the region, but they are manufactured for companies that are international companies. So we do have manufacturing companies in the larger countries that manufactures for larger countries, and so they are actually here in the Caribbean. So yes, I'm not sure specifically which brands. It's kind of a difficult situation without actually having to call specific names.
Not really trying to put you on the spot. I just wanted to point out the fact that we do make some of this stuff in the Caribbean, and I'm not sure if we've as evolved and informed about some of these nutritional concerns that the wider world, the larger, more developed countries are aware of and
but
taking
you see,
steps
the issues
to
that
take care
we
of.
are also having is a lot of these food items that are actually manufactured in the countries that we would call developed countries. A lot of these packages, a lot of these rules and regulations that are heavily enforced are already enforced in these particular countries. However, we depend on a lot of these countries for our food items, especially packaged foods. We depend quite heavily on them. So the the trade rules or the trade organizations, some of these issues is what we really would have to be looking at, particularly for St. Kitts and Nevis, since we are not one of those countries that manufacture most of our food. Trinidad, Jamaica, for example, they do quite a bit of manufacturing of certain items. Some manufacture for local organizations based in Trinidad and Jamaica, etc., and they also manufacture items for some of these larger companies that are from what persons would consider more developed countries. And they have been manufacturers for quite a while. They are fully aware of the trans fat issues. And some of them, they really have been battling it. As in, and when I say battling it, they found smarter ways in which to actually label their food. For example, something might not say trans fat. Okay, it might not say trans fat, but it might have something like hydrogenated oils, for example. You know, it might be incorporated in part of the cholesterol because trans fat naturally sometimes act like a cholesterol and cause heart buildup, etc. So they are fully aware, and so they are really finding ways in which they can actually mitigate against these health push, what is happening. Similarly with the sugar beverage policies, you know, for example, you'll find something that have in sugar, for example. However, as a way to misinform the consumer, they'll put on it low fat. Because persons are getting more health conscious. So even though it is high in sugar, if they put low fat on it, persons would feel, oh, well, this is a healthier product because they still low fat.
Or even high protein. You know, protein is the topic nowadays. So something might mark high protein, but then you check the nutrition facts. So that's why it's important to also check the nutrition facts. And as far as trans fats, like you said, check for partially hydrogenated oils. And just know the common foods, like you were speaking to, because, you know, policies are important, but we also have to empower our citizens as consumers in the meantime for what you can do for yourself and your family. And so some of the common items would be margarine, vegetable shortening, microwave popcorn, biscuits, pies, crackers. I think a big takeaway for me would be decreasing your consumption of ultra-processed or processed foods. So try to, you know, start by adding to your diet more vegetables, more fruits, because I always say, you know, start by looking at what you can add and then look at what you can decrease. Naturally, as you start to consume more fruits, more vegetables, more whole foods, more natural foods, then you naturally start to decrease your appetite for more processed foods and snacks. So I think that is also a take-home message here, that we definitely need trans fat policies, but also empower yourselves, empower your family, empower your home, look out for your children, and look at exactly what you're purchasing, decrease the snacks and the ultra-processed foods on the shelves, and increase your whole foods and vegetables and fruits.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle. So yes, and so I think that is what persons need to start looking at. Start eating more whole foods. Start eating more natural foods. Because once you do that, you literally control what goes into your bodies. Okay? Purchase less packaged foods, less snack foods, things that are easier to make. For example, just popping it in the microwave or trying it with a little water on the stove. Usually those are some of the foods that you want to stay away from. Okay, so these are the things people need to think about. I mean, I know everybody always speak about convenience foods and conveniences, but sometimes we have to make our own convenience food. For example, you're cooking larger portions. You know, you're somebody, for example, who use a lot of sweet potatoes, for example, whether you're going to be boiling it, baking it, you do a larger portion, you store it properly so that you have it there for use. So we really need to limit most packaged foods. And what persons also, when you look at trans fat, those foods that tend to come up more frequently is baked items. Michelle spoke about, said most of them, you know, cookies, cakes, the pastries we have here, quite a few of those products, because of the fat that are used to make them, a lot of them will come trans fat. And even those that are made locally, they are not labeled with what they are made. So you have an issue there. It is true the body needs dietary fat for energy, but we can also get them from natural, healthier sources. You know, lean proteins, lean proteins. You also want to look at those oils that are considered healthier and those that definitely are not tainted with trans fat. You want to just try to choose those healthier options. Nuts are the healthier options. For example, avocado, which are one of those healthy fat, but you still have to bear in mind and pay attention to the amount Okay, because fats, to a certain extent, once you abuse them, and I like to use the term for food now, because persons do abuse food. Once you abuse them, for example, by consuming too much or too frequently, you definitely will run the risk of getting the unhealthy side effects that might come with those.
And I think it's a good time to say that I think a lot of people need to recognize that there are good fats and bad fats.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think a lot of people realize that, because I remember a time I used to hear people saying, "Oh, avocados are full of fat. Oh, those are not healthy." And you know, obviously, we all know the avocado, for example, is chock full of good fats. Yeah. Okay. So I'll give you guys the last word. So each of you have 30 seconds to wrap up.
All right. Thank you very much for having us here this morning. I just want to drive home the point that you do have power in this situation in terms of your choices, but also government has to play its role in making healthier choices the easier and more convenient choice. And so we do need trans fat policies to even ban these foods from coming here in the first place, because if other countries have banned them, then they should not be allowed to come down here to us. If they deserve better, we deserve better as well. And so as the policy coordinator, I especially advocate for trans fat policies here in St. Kitts and Nevis and across CARICOM.
Thank you. And for me, I just want to continue to let persons know, dietary fats, they are important. They are essential for your health because they do give you energy and you do need them for vitamin absorption. However, there are some type of fat, like trans fat, which we cannot really speak too much about. Is one of those things that we have to keep pounding in the general public ear. Look for items that have trans fat. Look for items that have cholesterol, because it is harmful to your health. The buildup, which is harmful, can cause cardiovascular issues. So we really, really need to encourage the general public. I need you to be a lot more vigilant when you purchase your food items. Look on the labels. Look, see if it has trans fat. If you don't see trans fat, look for cholesterol. If you don't see it there, look at the ingredients. Look at how it is manufactured. Okay, so please pay attention to these things in your diet. And remember, you also have an individual choice to decide what goes into your body. It's not only the government responsibility or the health NGO's responsibility, but also you as an individual. And persons need to empower themselves too. Thank you.
Well said. And so we're going to be doing this Nutrition Nation once every month. It's the second Wednesday of the month, and it's going to be from 8:30 to 8:45. So, ladies, it was nice having you guys and then helping us to inform the public about ways to keep healthy. So we look forward to next month, Latoya and Michelle. Nice meeting you.
Thank you for having us.
Okay.
Thank you.
And of course, Nutrition Nation is brought to you by Republic Bank.
We'll be here in the worst of times. We'll be here till things get better. We'll be here to see you through. We're here invested in you. We're invested in you. You can depend on us. We will take care of you with a legacy of commitment you can trust. We hear what you've been saying. We know what you've been thinking. We understand what's in your heart. Trust us to do our part. Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Yeah, yeah. Meet me on the road. Dig a ding ding. I've been in the streets before. Every time I get that grade, I just want more and more, like a kid in a candy store. The vibes for me is everything. So much fun, so exciting. As I touch down, I hear the rhythm. The sounds of the bands and people jamming. I hear it. I hear them. Sound it out loud. Everywhere I go. St. Kitts, Nevis is my home. I wear it so proud. I want the world to know. St. Kitts, Nevis is my home. The music
So exciting as I touch down, I hear the rhythm. The sounds of the bands and people jamming. I hear it, I hear them. Sound is out loud everywhere I go. St. Kitts Nevis is my home. I wear it so proud. I want the world to know. St. Kitts Nevis is my home. The music is sweet down here. The vibes are just nice down here. Them girl love to wine down here. Music is we life down here. Revelers in the streets, jamming. 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 Sound it out loud everywhere I go. St. Kitts Nevis is my home. I wear it so proud. I want the world to know. St. Kitts Nevis is my home. The music is sweet down here. The vibes are just nice down here. Them girl love to wine down here. Music is we life down here. Revelers in the streets, jamming. 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 Oh, street, here we come.
6 minutes on till 9 o'clock. Oddity continues. The sound of Sugar Mass, that's our Nardo HD, Revelers in the Street. Here's some Christmas vibes. Too soon? I say no. It's Blackie. Don't forget we have Farm Report coming up at 9 o'clock. Christmas night. Blackie, brand new for 2024.
It's a few years now, baby, you disappear. And I'm glad to have you for Christmas this year. I remember when we used to party alone. All I want for Christmas is the same favor in return. You and I go party, just like how it used to be.
For the Christmas, for the Christmas.
Play the music softly, where no one could hear or see.
For the Christmas, for the Christmas.
All night, Christmas night, we having fun. We don't want this Christmas to done.
And I tell you, yes, and I tell you.
All night, Christmas night, we having fun. We don't want this party to done.
And I tell you, yes, and I tell you.
Love it up. Dancing time. Love it up. Girl, I'm so happy, I don't know what to do. Nothing better than spending Christmas with you. It's a long time I spent a Christmas like that. Dancing to the music as the memories keep coming back. You and I go party, just like how it used to be.
For the Christmas, for the Christmas.
Play the music softly, where no one could hear or see.
For the Christmas, for the Christmas.
All night, Christmas night, we having fun. We don't want this Christmas to done.
And I tell you, yes, and I tell you.
All night, Christmas night, we having fun. We don't want this party to done.
And I tell you, yes, and I tell you.
Let me dance. baby, to be spending Christmas at last. You and I go party, just like how it used to be.
For the Christmas, for the Christmas.
Play the music softly, where no one could hear or see.
For the Christmas, for the Christmas.
All night, Christmas night, we having fun. We don't want this Christmas to done.
And I tell you, yes, and I tell you.
All night, Christmas night, we having fun. We don't want this party to done.
And I tell you, yes, and I tell you.
All night, Christmas night, we having fun. We don't want this party to done.
And I tell you, yes, and I tell you.
All night, Christmas night, we having fun. We don't want this party to done.
And I tell you.
Hey, that's a little Soko Parang for Christmas 2024. That's Blackie, brand new track, something called Christmas Night. We got Farm Report coming up next. Stay tuned.
It's a few years now, there be your disappear.
Inter-Island Elevators is seeking an elevator technician. The elevator technician will be required to visit customers in St. Kitts and Nevis and service elevators according to best industry standards. Qualifications include high school diploma or equivalent, completion of an apprenticeship program or technical degree in a relevant field preferred, certification as an elevator technician, 2 or more years of experience working with elevator installation, maintenance or repair, and a driver's license. Apply to info@interislandelevators.com.
Chip, chip, chip. We wanna get chip, chip, chip.
Give your little smartie the perfect smart start for their future with CHIP, the child investment plan from TDC Financial Services. Invest in your child's next step, and we know what's next is always changing.
Chip, chip, chip. We wanna get chip, chip, chip.
CHIP is a long-term plan with no minimum deposit, no monthly commitment, and you're guaranteed a special high interest rate per annum.
I want chip. I want chip too.
Visit TDC Financial Services today and get CHIP, the child investment plan, providing the best head start for every child.
Chip, chip, chip. We wanna get chip, chip, chip.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WINN FM.
Two minutes after 9 o'clock, and it's time for Farm Report. And we got Lionel Stevens in studio. He is an extension officer at the Department of Agriculture and also part of the consortium. Lionel, what's up?
Yeah, good. Give thanks. But this morning I'm here in my capacity as the president of the Sandy Point Agricultural Cooperative. And I'm here to encourage each and everyone to come out this coming Saturday to support us as we stage our 14th annual World Food Day, Food Fair and Agricultural Exhibition down at the St. Kitts Eco Park.
And I know the week of activities begins on the 12th, right?
Yes, the Department of Agriculture is also having their annual week of activities as it relates to celebrating World Food Day, which is observed on October 16th every year. So technically the events start off with our event at the Eco Park on Saturday 12th October with the highly anticipated high school cook-off. For those of you out there who have been supporting would have known that this year would be our third year staging the event at the Eco Park. And since we have been at the Eco Park, we have introduced the element of the high school cook-off to further shed some light on the secondary schools and agriculture, more so the culinary aspect. So 2 years ago, we started and we had 3 schools. We were basically looking at the schools within our zone. Hence, we had the Virtuals High School, the Charles E. Mill Secondary School, and the Sadler Secondary School competing, which Sandy Point was adjudged the winner. Last year, we had the main ingredient to be rabbit, and we saw 4 schools participating, namely the Virtuals High School, Charles E. Mills, Kayan, and Bastia High School, which Bastia High School came out the victor. Well, this year now,
so last year was the first, right?
Last year was the second year.
The second year,
yeah.
okay.
The first year was sweet potato.
Okay.
So it was a sweet potato challenge, where sweet potato was the main ingredient.
So you never had any Nevis high school participation?
No, because we sent it to the ministry down here.
Oh, okay. All
so I don't know if, as the years go by, we would expand it, you know what I mean? Yeah.
So who provides the cooking implements and so on, like the stove and the whole station and everything?
The stoves are provided by the Department of Youth.
Okay.
They do provide us that support in terms of facilitating the stoves and the gas.
And setting up the stations for the chefs.
Yeah, we provide the tables and everything. Each school is expected to work with whatever equipment they feel they would need. If they need a blender, a grater, whatever it is.
Okay.
The school is expected to work with their tools, knives, cutting board, etc. Extra water, but we do provide some water, knowing that it's not an area where you have a running water station, technically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, this year, it seems the momentum is, the word is getting out there. This year we had 5 schools coming on board by the deadline, namely the Charles E. Mill Secondary, Sadler Secondary, Kayan, Bastia High School, and Virtuals. And I just want to say it now. Last week, Friday, when I left the radio station, the teacher at the Washington Archibald called me, and she did plea for them to be a part, but the registration was a week before, and things were already in motion. So it kind of broke my heart to say no, right? But nonetheless, I want to encourage them to come forward and look at the competition, see how it goes, and see if next year they would really want to be a part of it. You know what I mean? But I just want to apologize to her still. But things happen. She did say that she was out sick. But things were already in motion. So unfortunately, that would have made it 6 schools, right? And now you mentioned Nevis. Probably we could reach out to the secondary schools in Nevis. And like the ministry had said to us last year, we were biased in the first year. So why not try it out to all the schools, and depending on how many schools come on board, then we could have a cook-off, where maybe everybody would do something and then persons would be eliminated, and then we come down to a set of persons for the final event. So,
and I know last year to be honest, I remember last year had caused a bit of a stir, that whole student cooking thing. Because I remember we were talking about that last year. So I expect this is probably going to grow, right?
Well, I am assuming, and you could see we have 5 schools on board, and if Washi was not late, then we would have had 6. So we'll see what happens next year. So, but yeah, that is something that is one of the major highlights now. So I just want to let persons know that the cook-off actually starts at 1 p.m. and they will be given an hour and a half to prepare their presentations. Seeing that it was our 3rd year.
I have a comment here saying you didn't have to say no. I'm assuming they mean
to Washington Archibald.
Said an exception could have been made.
Yeah, but things was already in motion. You know what I mean? Things were already distributed to the schools. One of the training sessions had already taken place with Chef Marshall. That took place actually Thursday. And the next one is happening this Thursday. So they were technically going to be at a disadvantage. So the information that was imparted by the chef on Thursday, they would not have gotten that. Right?
Good point.
We were already started to distribute resources towards the event as well. So, and they were not budgeted for. So we had already requested the stores for the 5 schools. You know what I mean? If she had called even the Monday, then we could have considered, even though the deadline was the previous Friday. So.
And you have to enforce your standards. You have to have standards and enforce them, right?
Just to defend the thing still. You know what I mean? But you see, I'm with you. Showing love to Washi and encourage them to come out. But yeah, so this year for our 3rd year, we were kind of undecisive of what the main ingredient should be. So we came up with 3 different things. So this year, instead of a main ingredient, we have 3 mystery ingredients, of which the schools would be required to prepare an appetizer with 1 item, an entree with another, and a drink with the 3rd commodity.
So they don't know beforehand, right?
No, it's something like a chop challenge. It's kind of
okay. But let me ask
suspense.
You, when you do that, suppose there's an ingredient and it needs, maybe what they want to do needs a particular ingredient that you don't have.
No,
hand,
well,
like
we already spoke to the schools.
We
already spoke to the schools. We already facilitated some resources for them to shop and buy whatever they need to be a part of their presentation. So that is already done. So at the event, we are going to reveal what is it that they are going to be.
Oh, but they already know.
Technically.
Okay, that's what I was trying to get at, because I was thinking
but it's like a chop challenge we're trying this year, something, a little suspense. But it really is for the general public, technically. You know what I mean? It's not that we could really do the children that and the day reveal the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But technically, they know what the ingredients are, but for the general public, we kind of have it a little suspense.
Okay.
So
yeah, because I was thinking, you have the main ingredient.
Before the competition, we are going to do that reveal. So so I'm encouraging persons to come out and see what is going to take place this year as it pertains to that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So support the kids. There's a lot of negativity in the air about the young people not wanting to do nothing. But at least let us rally behind the few who show great interest in showcasing their capabilities, their skills and talents. So I just want to encourage persons to come out and support the secondary students as they chart the way forward in trying to become a chef or somebody within the culinary field. Other highlights, we're going to have the Rabbit Festival, which seems to be a hit. So for those persons who missed out on the Rabbit last year, we're encouraging you to come on out this year again. It's going to be there. So we're going to have the Rabbit Festival. We're going to have the Jeff Small Grants unit they should be launching a new dispensation so persons who have ideas of sustainable projects, environmentally friendly projects, can approach Jeff to get funding and do different projects throughout the community that pertains to the sustainable development goals, right? We're going to have police credit union. We're going to have art and craft vendors. We're going to have vegetables. We're going to have ice pops. And there's a lady from Tabernacle as well as ice pop, ice pop from around town that do some wonderful local ice lollies from fruits. You know what I mean? For those who are at the Gideon Force Organic Market, yeah, she was there with some nice fudge, some nice bag drinks, some ice lollies, some popsicles. You know what I mean? The sorrel one was amazing. So just encouraging persons to come out and check out these things down at the Eco Park. We're going to have an animal corner. So for those who like the pets, the rabbits, the guinea pigs, birds, we're going to have those there for the kids. We're going to have a kids zone as well. You don't know the bar, Spax Ital will be there. For those who don't eat Ital but you eat the different meat kinds, we're going to have Skeeter's Catering, Hillary's Catering. We should have Capistia with their fish products. So it's a lot to see, a lot to do, a lot to enjoy. For those people like the barbecue, you're going to get a grill man there. So everything you could think about is going to be there this coming Saturday. We got entertainment, Unstoppable Sound, DJ Carty, and a young and upcoming band, the Explosive Band. One of the guys there, I taught them in school. He loves agriculture too, so I just thought it fitting to give him an opportunity and his band to come through and showcase and get their foot in the door as well. So it's a lot of young talent going to be on show. So we just want to encourage people to come out and show the young people some support. Admission is $5. The gates open at 12. We go down to 9 o'clock and beyond. So we just want to encourage persons, if you get off late, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, we're still going to be there. The cooking competition again starts at 1. That is a big thing, a big thing. Seeing the kids there doing the thing, chefing it up with the knives in their attire. So we want to encourage persons to be early to come and witness the keenly contested secondary school cook-off. As I say, this year, for our 3rd anniversary at Eco Park, the 3rd year at Eco Park, we try to do it a little different. So instead of 1 main ingredient, we have 3 main ingredients. So look forward to see a great appetizer, a marvelous entree, and a wonderful drink to wash down all of that. So yeah, I just want to acknowledge some of the sponsors thus far. We got the St. Kitts Police Credit Union. We got the Tourism Authority. We got First Federal Credit Union. We have TDC. We have Jeff Small Grants program. We got also too numerous to mention at this time, but I just want to acknowledge all the persons who have received communications from the organization and would have took the time out to respond, even if to say, well, you cannot do it at this particular time, but the effort to respond to the communication, I just want to say thank you for those institutions who have done it thus far, and those who would have not yet responded. There's still some time to come on board and make this event to remember. So Saturday, 12th October, Eco Park, 12 p.m. the gates open. Cook-off starts at 1.
Okay, I wanted to, in case you're just joining us, it's on 9:17. I've got Lionel Stevens here. Now, there's a story I saw on Loop News yesterday. Caribbean Week of Agriculture gets underway in St. Vincent, and it's talking about the 18th edition of the Caribbean Week of Agriculture. with CARICOM Secretary General Dr. Carla Barnett, talking about the importance of the week-long event to the regional efforts at food security. Apparently, the theme this year is, I just cite here, is it? Climate-smart agriculture for a sustainable future. Is that something that I guess I'm asking you to put on your other hat now. Is that something that the ministry here is a part of?
Well, I know in previous years that officials would have attended the gathering.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I'm not sure what is happening this year, technically, but I would assume so. But I just wanted to share the department's week of activities
Mhm.
as it pertains to World Food Day 2024. And as I mentioned,
You think that's probably like sort of to
it
run
happens
concurrently, sort of?
No, it kind of happens around the same
Around
time
the same
of
time.
World Food Day.
Okay.
It usually takes place in October
Mhm.
in different parts. You know, I think I attended when it was in Suriname in 2014.
Okay.
Yeah, it was in Suriname, but it's usually in October.
Okay.
For a week where they showcase different aspects, you know what I mean? Different countries would come and showcase things happening in their country. They would have different agro-processors,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? And the country itself, the host country.
It's sort of like an open day for CARICOM.
Yes, for agriculture in general.
Yeah, agriculture.
because
Oh, yeah, agriculture in general,
it's
yeah.
different countries coming through and showcasing what they're actually doing, apart from the conference where they have different presentations and different topics and so forth.
Yeah.
But it's like a week-long agricultural exhibition.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you wanted to go through the week?
Yeah, I wanted to touch on the week. And I was saying that the week starts technically with the Sandy Point Agricultural Cooperative's activity at Eco Park on Saturday 12th. And then it follows with church at the Tabernacle House of Deliverance New Testament Church of God in Tabernacle at 10 a.m. And then on Monday the 14th, we have the high school education and awareness. There's also going to be a fish pot making training and fish processing and farm production and agro-processing workshop. This also is the day when extension officers will visit the secondary schools to speak on the World Food Day topic of the year as well, and speak on agriculture in general as it pertains to World Food Day. Then on the Tuesday the 15th, there's a beach aerobics in collaboration with the Department of Youth Empowerment, Aging and Disabilities. There's also going to be a cabinet coastal patrol and a squid training with fishers. On Wednesday the 16th...
Explain that, because when I read it last week, explain that squid training. What's that about?
Well, squid, I don't know if you would have been to any of the recent night markets.
I went to one, I think
right?
it was...
I think if it's not this year, it was last year. They had a feature of squid balls.
Oh, okay. So calamari balls.
Yeah, similar to like the saltfish balls.
Oh.
But the meat kind was squid.
Oh, okay.
So it was a way to try and introduce.
And teach people how to cook it, sort of?
Well, first get to see if people would
be interested.
consume. Yeah,
Okay.
so the squid balls was one of the ways they tried to.
How did that go down?
Well, I think it went down well. I
Okay.
wasn't one the testers, but it went down well, I think. So I guess now the ministry is trying to enlighten the fisher folks as to how they go about handling, cleaning, processing, preparing, so that you would have an sanitized, healthy meat to provide to the general public.
Okay,
So,
interesting.
yeah, so for those fisher folks,
And
you're
that's the
encouraged.
15th. That's Tuesday,
That's
October
the
15th.
Tuesday, October 15th.
Okay, wait. Put
At
a pin there.
8 a.m.
Yeah.
to 4 p.m. And the coastal patrol is 10 a.m.
Let's take this call. 923. Take this call for Lionel Stevens. Go ahead. Hello, caller.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, what's up?
Traffic farmers program in progress.
Yes, but Kosh, I want you to stay on topic right now. We're talking about the week of activities. But go ahead.
Week of activities for what?
So you're not listening?
Now, remember telling me I can't make me on the radio, me in contact with the radio, so I'm out of sync with what's really being said.
Okay, it's the World Food Day week of activities. We have Lionel
World
Stevens,
Food Day
and he was just
activities.
going. Yeah, he was just going to the program.
He's still touching the point of what I'm going to get at. Farmers production, because without the farmers producing, there'll be no World Food Day. If you understand what I'm speaking of. Presently now the farmers and St. Kitts, moreover the farmers that belongs to the consortium, we're getting a lot to knock about. A lot. For example, we had a place upstairs, Ricardo's, up by the airport area, which is sell seeds. And for some reason, agriculture department took over, but already shared everything to say be the agent. And the consortium farmers have it very difficult, very, very difficult in getting seed that time. They pull the seed off the shelves. So it's like we now forced to bring in our own seed, and we do not know the cost of bringing them in as yet. And at this point in time, there's a very huge shortage of seasoning peppers on island. And without seasoning, food ain't taste nice.
Okay.
Is Edmund in studio?
No. Just Lionel Stevens.
Okay, Mr. Stevens, trust me.
Yeah, Cash,
Never out of food. Good morning, man. I'm coming down your side on the 12th.
All right, give that.
Jamsta.
Yeah.
Link up the vibe to me now.
But Cash.
I will.
Please, you know my number still, right?
Yeah.
But please, thanks a lot, boy.
Yeah, but yeah, let me finish with the week activities, right?
Yeah, go ahead. So we're on to October 16th. That's,
so yeah,
Eat Local Fair. Tell me about that.
Yeah,
That's
October 16th is the actual World Food Day.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be an Eat Local
Oh,
Fair.
that's the actual day now, the 16th.
Yeah, the 16th
okay.
of October is World Food Day.
Yeah, okay.
Annually. So for persons who do not know, record that at some point in time. Some about you might be able to win something just by knowing that.
That's a Wednesday,
the 16th
right? Wednesday
of October
Wednesday,
is
October
observed
16th.
as World Food Day annually. Okay?
And then you guys are going to be on
and then
focus.
The local
that day.
fair is Independence Square from 11:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then in the evening, there's going to be a panel discussion on In Focus, and the topic is plants, goods used for medicinal purposes, and that's 1 p.m. on In Focus.
That's interesting.
Right?
You know, you happen to know who the facilitators are? Not really important right now. I just wondered if you...
Not at this moment.
Right. Okay, so let's move on
to... the 17th, there's an agro-processing and eat local awareness dialogue happening at 9 a.m. And that's... the topic is alternatives to imported goods. Right? They didn't say a venue.
Yeah.
Or if it's going to be on
so you could always give us those next week.
There's also the children home handover and planting ceremony. And I think that's where they're going to lend some support to the greenhouse, our shade house that they have there.
Oh,
so they're going to try and restore and, get it back up and running so that they could have a production area going. And then at 5 p.m., it's the Farmers and Fishers Prize Giving Ceremony. This is where annually the department and the ministry recognizes farmers for their efforts, you know what I mean, for their production and the work that they would have done. So this is where they recognize a farmer, a fisher, a livestock Producer of the Year, and they award certain prizes to farmers based on the different categories, whether it's tree crops, under 5 acres, over 5 acres, small ruminants, and so forth.
And then Friday 18th, we have the Prison Farm Revitalization Initiative. Tell us a little about that.
I'm just reading. I wasn't part of the organizing committee, but I'm just...
Okay.
Is
and that's in
agriculture
Nevis.
still?
That's in Nevis, of course,
Yeah,
right?
so I'm just trying to still wear the multiple hats still, you know what I mean? I can't escape it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Reality.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
agriculture all around, so...
Okay. What's the St. Christopher Outreach Luncheon? What's that about?
This is where the department cooks lunch and provides it to the less fortunate down at that place down next to where Ben Jacks used to operate on the Bay Road.
Okay. Yeah. I know it. Yeah.
So it's where they provide lunch for the less fortunate.
Okay.
So that's the St. Christopher Outreach Luncheon.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Friday also at 5:30 p.m. there's a fish fry and competition, and that's the Old Road at the Old Road Fisheries Complex from 5:30 p.m. So it's from the 12th of October right back down to the 18th of October. It's a lot of things to do with agriculture, so we just want to encourage persons as it relates to the different events. Whichever one is up your alley, feel free to make an effort to attend and acquire whatever knowledge is being shared so that you could be empowered. So that's the week of activities. As Cash was talking about seeds, right? What he was saying is that there was a company upstate with Cardos, Agrimatco, that used to provide a different set of seeds that the department used to had back in the days. However, the company has ceased to, let's say, shut down, and technically the department would have acquired the stock from the company. Presently, there's negotiating the contract so that they could be the supplier of those seeds that the company used to sell. You check? So right now, it's being sorted out technically between lawyers, that business.
But why? I'm failing to understand why. Was there some kind of problem, some kind of challenge the company was facing in remaining open?
I don't really know what the issues are, but that's just the technical way to explain the situation. The company was providing seeds, so if the department didn't have something, there was an alternative. So the company, whatever the issue was, closed down, right? The department managed to acquire whatever the stock was and made it available. The stock has been now being used as part of the 25 by 25 agenda. So farmers are actually getting the seeds to plant, but it's not really available to purchase because they are a part of the initiative. You see what I'm saying?
So they get the seeds free?
They are getting them free. They are getting the seedlings actually. You see what I'm saying? But as I'm saying, once the negotiations are rectified, the department should acquire the rights to distribute the seeds again. So then, once that is done, then they will become available because then they could.
I'm just wondering. We pretty much all the time. I'm just wondering why not just facilitate the private sector to provide the seeds at good prices. I don't necessarily see why.
It's a question that farmers would have put forward, but I continue to say, right, as farmers, right, we need to step up, right, and become more business oriented, right, in the sense that we need a lot of things for the sector to function properly. right? But how many of those things are we actually contributing to? That's what I'm saying. For example, the government decided to do the 25 by 25. And a lot of persons feel like they are entitled to the inputs. So, yes, I deserve 10 rolls, I deserve. But you are going to get these things free. The same as the material is free. The infrastructure is free, according to the ministry, right? What you pay for is whatever seedlings you would receive to plant. So if you receive 5 trays of sweet peppers, and you get 5 rows of ground cover, 5 rows of fencing, drip lines, all these things, all you would have. You see what I'm saying? And I still farm. And I am one who been saying that the government could do more for agriculture. But in my time at the department, I would have seen year after year where free things are given to the farming community, right? And after the free things stop give, you ain't seen nothing happening. You see what I'm saying? Farmers get things free, but yet still the price of the food does not come down. We get things free, but who do we give back to? You see where I'm coming from? So I'm saying there are problems out there that we face, but we cannot look for the government to fix all of them. We must step up to fix some of our problems. And in doing so, if we are falling short, we should be able to say to the government, hey, we are trying to build this house to do this, but we have 3/4 of what we need. Could you facilitate the other quarter?
Caller, go ahead. 9:35. Go ahead, caller.
Good morning, Jamster.
Farm report. Go ahead, caller.
Good morning, Jamster.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm good. And good morning to the farmer there.
Yeah, give that morning.
Keeping with the week of activities, Jamster, as I promised, I will always reiterate, there needs to be a tree planting day, something that they initiate in this week of activities, a tree planting day. As much as our citizens can come out of their offices, leave their work for an hour, a half an hour, what have you, plant a tree, especially a fruit tree. That will go a long way. I heard the scientists already saying the breadfruit is the most drought-resistant fruit or food. So we have a lot of vergers. We have the gut size there. Let the authorities that be identify the area. Let us source those materials and let us get out of our offices. Give a little break from what we normally do at daytime and put a tree in the soil. You will feel so good. I feel so good when I pass by the agua strip, what they call the agua strip, which is supposed to be the aqua strip, with those moringa trees. In 2013, I continued the initiative that Telco Francis and others started, and I decided I want to get back to my community. Let us feel proud about planting something. There's a scarcity of coconut water. It's ironic that we import coconut when we could plant too.
But my brethren, not to cut you,
yes,
right? But I is one, right, that I feel we are the people, right? We don't understand the whole thing of government and that kind of vibe. They always tell us that we is the government, the people, and we as a people, we live in communities, and we're looking for the one man who is the MP or the Prime Minister to come and fix our problems. When I'm saying we as the community, we are more than the government, how we look at it. The 7-8 elected representatives, we are more than them. So if we, just wait. So if we decide that we want this for the community, because this would benefit the community, then we could call and demand these things collectively. But when we have the meditation that these persons are the ones that's supposed to do everything for us because we put them there, that is why the society is going to run. When you look at communities today, there's no community councils, there's nobody, there's no entity, not even the churches trying to govern what happens in their community. We're looking for the police. The police is 2 and 3 people. The community itself. That's what I'm saying. We look at the amount of person that goes to the churches. But what are the churches doing on a level to say, well, let us do things for the community, not just who come to our church, but the community at large. You find nobody really doing nothing for the community. We're looking for the politicians to do these things, to fix things. Look at it. You have persons in communities with backhoes and the roads them washing out and overgrown. And the man would himself say, "Bye, let me do a community service." Because we're looking for the government to do everything. Watch here, if we do things for ourselves, they're going to have to come to we come beg we, what you want me to do? But we run into them and they continue to ignore us. So, me just say that.
I have started and I already sound the alarm that I'm going to continue. I'm precarious. I'm cognizant that I'm not going to plant in a tree where there are overhead wires. And once I'm far from that, where I might assume that there are water mains on a certain place, I'm going to avoid those areas. But I am going to plant, and no one is going to stop me because I'm going to cry out. I want to say, "Oh, well, you want us to go to starve, rather than..." I'm planting in areas where it's not even me going to access them, but the whole community is going to access whatsoever I plant, because that's how I grew up. I grew up eating what others plant.
I'm going to show you next thing again, my brethren. As part of this World Food Day activities, right? Many years, tree planting would have been one of the activities. I could recall back in 2010 and 2011, right? There was an initiative to plant X amount of trees, right? We started planting fruit trees along the island main road, right? Thousands of trees, my brethren. And hear me, we plant the trees and the very persons of the community wouldn't even water the trees, wouldn't even weed out around the trees. Parks and beaches go, they cut around the trees, they bark them off with the weed eaters, kill the trees them, my brethren. This is what I'm saying. We, the government, so to speak, would have taken the initiative to say, plant trees on the roadside. For are we? But we as the community still looking for the government to look after the trees. Why the persons of the community cannot look after the trees? Because the community is who going to reap the fruits, them not the government. And this is what is happening in the country.
I feel you.
All about. Even with the very schools that our children attend. We as the parents, we think it hard to make a contribution to the school when your children benefit from it. Or the government need to buy paper, the government need to this, the government need to that. But we children them are go and destroy the school them. So why is it that we cannot encourage our children not to do that and be more supportive? Because at the end of the day, if your children will benefit, they're going to a comfortable school environment. So why we... But anyway, that's just me.
Good point, Lionel. We out of time, but man, you really put it down there. I gotta say.
Just before going, I mean, I was getting sidetracked, but there's a lot of things that need to be said. But I just want to get back to the point where I was here as the president of the Sandy Point Agricultural Cooperative. We just want to encourage persons to come out this coming Saturday, Eco Park, from 12 p.m. for the 14th annual World Food Day Food Fair and Agricultural Exhibition. Children free, adults $5 at the gate. The cook-off starts at 1. We got 5 schools competing. You don't want to miss it. You know what I mean? So see you there. Come support everybody who will be there vending. And come and learn something. You know what I mean? Come and experience the World Food Day food fair and agricultural exhibition. Give thanks.
Okay, great, Lionel. Okay, Lionel Stevens. Don't forget, World Food Day, the week of activities runs from October 12 to 18. Going out and especially support the kids cook-off and so on. Going out and support. And Lionel, I love those comments you made at the end there. I'm always here for the calling out of our nonsense as Kititians and divisions. Okay, 9:43. Let's head to the break.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. WINN FM.
Oh, I've got this feeling to high five the sun, dance in the rain, and have my scoop of fun. I'm on my way to flavor my day with something new, and I've got room for you. Let loose and live a little, get close and share a little, give in and taste a little. You'll fall in love with creamery novelties of life and live a little. Get close and share a little, give in and taste a little. You'll fall in love with creamery novelties.
Enjoy Creamy Novelties Ice Cream, distributed by Rams Trading. Live a little.
Hey kids, drink healthy!
Reduce sugar chubby with the same great taste. Lots of magic fruity flavors, drink the more healthy way.
It tastes so yummy, chubby, chubby, chubby.
25% less sugar chubby. Be active, be healthy, drink lots of chubby. Kicking football, playing cricket, having fun in the sun.
It's chubby.
Reduced sugar chubby keeps you cool and refreshed.
It tastes so yummy, chubby, chubby, chubby.
25% less sugar chubby. Jumping rope, running races, have fun.
It tastes so yummy, chubby.
Drink the more healthy way.
Me like when you wind up yourself. It's something like a drink on the top shelf. I call it so you know me can't help. In the days let me name Bobby Cadwell. You my favorite when you spin it and I twist it every day. Me just a visit just to get a little snippy. Yeah. Me like when you throw it and I left it pour it out. So you give me grounding so excuse me. You take a shot and you want me. Send it, they could never call you daddy cause I wanna ever deadly. Evidently baby you want my baby. Me all I vibes with the steady you are playing me melody. Me take a shot and you want me. Send it, they could never call you daddy cause I wanna ever deadly. Evidently baby you want my baby. Me all I vibes with the steady you are playing me melody. Me see straight trail like a vodka. 6:30 put the cherry on the top now. Shake it up like a tropical delight. And I chase it if you bubble like a Sprite. Me and no bartender, but me could tell her what you like. Sex on the beach to make you feel right. And no crime, if you feel light, if you feel tight. Cup of shot of Henny, just a play with my mind. Me take a shot and you with me. Send it, they could never call you daddy cause I wanna ever deadly. Evidently baby you are my baby. Me all I vibes with me steady. You are playing me melody. Me take a shot and you with me. Send it, they could never call you daddy cause I wanna ever deadly. Evidently baby you are my baby. Me all I vibes with me steady. You are playing me melody. Me like when you wind up yourself. It's something like a drink on the top shelf. I call it so you know me can't help. In the days let me name Bobby Cadwell. You my favorite when you spin it and I twist it every day. Me just a visit just to get a little snippy. Yeah. Me like when you throw it and I left it pour it out. So you give me grounding so excuse me. Me take a shot and you with me. Send it, they could never call you daddy cause I wanna ever deadly. Evidently baby you are my baby. Me all I vibes with me steady. You are playing me melody. Me take a shot and you with me. Send it, they could never call you daddy cause I wanna ever deadly. Evidently baby you are my baby. Me all I vibes with me steady. You are playing me melody. Me take a shot and you with me. Send it, they could never call you daddy cause I wanna ever deadly. Evidently baby you are my baby. Me all I vibes with me steady. You are playing me melody. Me take a shot and you with me. Send it, they could never call you daddy cause I wanna ever deadly. Evidently baby you are my baby. Me all I vibes with me steady. You are playing me melody.
Hey, that's brand new music, homegrown music from T&J Apex, something called Miss Henny. 12 minutes until 10 o'clock, and we had a very interesting farm report with Lionel Stevenson's last section there, calling out citizens and farmers alike And in my opinion, things that really needed to be said. Okay. We had a call coming in just as he was wrapping up. So anyone wants to call, feel free to call, and we can wrap about whatever it is you guys have on your minds. We got 12 minutes. Just letting our listeners know. My co-hosts weren't available today, but Kortensia will be in tomorrow, so don't worry. So give me a call, 466-0989, 662-0989. And you could even send your comments as well on the board here. I'll try and read as many as possible. So let's go to the phone lines. Island T, go right ahead.
Yeah, good morning, man. How you doing, Jamsta, man?
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
Yeah, pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, that Rastaman made some good points down the stretch at the end there. And he juggled my mind, man. He juggled my mind. What I want to contribute quickly, man, you see the Aspire program that the Prime Minister is embarking on right now? I was listening to him yesterday on the round table, and, you know, I heard something about the Aspire program that I wanted to make a small contribution. You see how the Rastaman is talking about this community effort?
Yeah.
Efforts. Okay. What I would want to see, when I heard the Prime Minister, he alluded to something yesterday, right? He said maybe in the future they will attach like I think when they was talking about like the Boy Scouts and those Girl Scouts and the 4-H clubs, those type of community clubs. What I believe that they should do with that Aspire program, they should make it mandatory for the children who they're going to be giving these monies to, make it mandatory as part of the requirement for them to participate in one of those community groups. And then we will as the kids them grow up, they will be coming up with some more discipline. They should attach this to the Aspire program at the outset, right away, now. What I heard the Prime Minister said, I think he's thinking about it, but he's saying that they might do it in the future. But I think he should implement that right away from the outset. That's what I want to say, man. Thanks a lot. Enjoy
Okay.
your day, man.
Yeah, great. Okay, bro. So yeah. It's 9 minutes until 10 o'clock. Yeah, definitely. I think that some of those comments were perfectly in line with some of the things I always take issue with. You know, he was talking about the fact that, you know, the farmers expect everything free. Okay, that's fine, but he's saying that sometimes when stuff isn't available, nothing happens, and then if they're asked to buy seeds, for example, it's a problem. Or people not maybe being civic-minded enough, where we have a situation where, you know, you had the Africa call in there talking about the planting, which I actually think is a pretty good idea as well, a tree planting exercise as part of the World Food Week of activities. I actually think that's a pretty good idea. But, you know, Lionel was saying that, you know, people don't even take the initiative to do some of these things themselves. Yeah, we got some bad habits that we have to really have to take stock of and do better. Okay, so let me just go through some of the activities again in case some of you missed it. Now, World Food Day proper is actually October 15th, so Tuesday, October 15th, all right? And we have Tuesday, October 16th, sorry. Wednesday, October 16th, what am I saying? So we're going to have the Eat Local Fair next week at Independence Square, and there's going to be a panel discussion in focus on plants and goods used for medicinal purposes. That should be interesting as well. And for the adventurous eaters, on Tuesday, October 15th, the squid training exercise. You're gonna be introduced to the squid as a food source and the way you prepare it. in terms of cleaning it and so on before you prepare it for consumption and so on. So that sounds pretty interesting. Just reminding you that the week of activities, World Food Day week of activities runs from October 12th to 18. So yeah. Okay, so any if you guys want to call me in the last remaining moments, we got 7 minutes. Feel free to give me a call. And yeah. Okay, let's see what else is going on here. Okay, so German, if you want to call me, you can go right ahead and call me now. Okay, I think I might have German linking up with me from DC for the final remaining moment. So go ahead and give me a call, German.
Fruta full of vitamin thing. Real fruit juice, no full of vitamin. Pop open the goodness, just dive in. Fruta every night, fruta every morning.
It's the amazing taste and quality in fruit juice you've come to know and love. Anytime, anywhere, any occasion. Fruta is your tastier, better, healthier choice.
We got the vibes, fruta. Real nice, fruta.
And for the families, remember to pick up the 1 liter.
Okay, so we got 4 minutes left on Island T, and I'm looking for a link here from German so he can join me. That's the music of Jazik, something called Nova. Hey, we were just talking about. I just got a pretty good joke. They say comedy is truth and comedy is funny, but this one is definitely both. And someone sent me this: humans are the only creatures on Earth that will cut down a tree, turn it into paper, then write "Save the trees" on the paper. Ain't that the truth? Let's go to this phone call. Caller, go right ahead. Final remaining moments
of Mr.
Hey.
Cable.
Hey.
Could we talk about the comet that will be visible at its brightest this evening? That's passing through near the Earth at this present time.
Sure, we can. Go right ahead. You have, 2 minutes?
Okay, there's a comet that's going by. None of us alive is likely to see it. because it is visible with the naked eye and passing through this part of the solar system every, I think it's 50,000 years. I don't think any of us is likely
Wow.
to see it.
I think it's safe. I think it's
like-
safe to say that none of us will see it this a second time.
Exactly.
Mhm.
I'm feeling Western Hill not long after sundown this evening. And it's not very low in the sky. Sort of, you could see maybe at about a 30-degree angle. You should be able to see this comet. It's really difficult for me to pronounce, but it's a mix of names. One of them, I think it was an Egyptian astronomer who discovered it. And the other one was someone else somewhere in the world who independently came across this comet. And it's rather odd in that it was only relatively recently discovered. At the same time, no one was really looking for it. But even though it has been calculated that it will only come our way maybe once every 50,000 years, the nature of what the astronomers and physicists have seen suggests that it's also possible that it might have completely disappeared by then. Not disappeared in that we can't see it.
Dissipated,
It
maybe.
may have, you could say, melted away. As you know, comets are large quantities of basically frozen water that are part of our original, explosion into existence, and who have been going through the solar system because, following independent paths through the solar system. One of the best known one is the Halley's Comet, which goes by every, I think it's 84 years. It last went by sometime in the 1990s. And then there's the Hale-Bopp, which went by us some years ago as well. So
Yeah, that one I remember.
it's a comet whose name is difficult to remembering because it's a double-barrel name. It's a hyphenated name. But it is visible in the sky, in the western sky, not long after sundown. It will also continue to be visible for the rest of this month. But as the moon gets closer to full, it will be less easy to see it with the naked eye because the brightness of the moon will drown it out. So this evening, Wednesday, it will, all things being equal, clouds, rain, whatever it is, it will be at its brightest with the naked eye from Earth. So look out for it. And if anyone wants to call in tomorrow and say what they saw, you're likely to see, basically, imagine a teardrop falling. And so you have the big fat part of the teardrop and the splintered part behind it. Or imagine an upside down exclamation mark.
Yeah.
And so there's the big fat part, and trailing behind it, you would see a sort of a more fuzzy type of display.
Yeah, I'm
Better
sure.
with a pair of binoculars, even better still with a telescope.
Yeah,
But it is possible to see it because it should be, this evening at least, brighter in the sky at that time of evening than Venus, which normally is the brightest celestial object that
which
we
is
can
saying
see
a
with
lot.
our naked eye, other than the moon.
Which is saying a lot because Venus is.
Which
yeah.
is saying a lot. So
yeah, Venus is
have a look
pretty
out
bright.
for
yeah.
that comet that is within our vision once every approximately 50,000 years.
Wow.
You're not likely to have a chance to see it again after the month of October 2024.
So I'm sure
Not
the
even
people.
our great-grandchildren will get to see it again.
There we go. And I'm pretty sure the people listening who happen to have telescopes will probably have a field day tonight. Because I know a few people
No,
who
a
have
field
telescopes.
night.
A field night, yeah, field night.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, thanks for that heads up on the comment, and we got to shut it down for today's edition of Island Tea. Don't forget, coming up at 11, we have Voices with Socrates. So stay tuned. Come back and join us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch for Voices at 11. And of course, you can also listen on the WINN FM website, winmediascan.com, and of course, WINN FM 98.9. And Island T will be back tomorrow. Kortensia will be in, so we'll be back to rumble tomorrow. So have a great day until then.
We're different. We're 98.9.